The first step to overcoming alcohol addiction, for me, was to make a list of all the benefits that I passively believed alcohol to be giving me, and then examine each to see if that was the reality. So this is just my personal list. I'm showing them as examples, and you'll probably have your own perceptions to look at. Okay, my first belief was alcohol helps me to relax. But the real truth is, it's not relaxing to need a drink. To me, constantly thinking about alcohol is a distraction that interferes with everything good in life. Things that can really only be experienced in the present moment, which thoughts of alcohol distract you from. Also, there are much better and more reliable ways of learning to relax than by drinking alcohol. Second example, my belief was alcohol helps me to be more social. The reality, to need a drink before interacting is really a social distraction. Also, even though we all have some special memories that occurred while drinking, the truth is that it's more difficult to really make social connection with people once you're intoxicated. Alcohol distorts emotions and communication ability. Drunk people are often perceived as being less reliable and emotionally stable as friends. Alcoholics almost always have self-esteem problems, and self-esteem is an important part of lasting social connection. Long story short, while alcohol may have been an experimental stepping stone in your younger days, full consciousness is the only mindset in which real social connection can take place. Next belief, alcohol gives me confidence. The truth, that's not really confidence. We've all seen the false sense of confidence that's projected by a drunk person. It really appears more like arrogance or foolishness to someone that's coherent. From my personal experience, alcohol can't even be relied on for attaining that state. Personally, whenever I'm feeling uneasy or self-conscious, alcohol just amplifies that existing emotion. The truth is that if you're suffering from lack of confidence, you need 100% of your mind power to find real ways to cultivate it. In the long run, alcohol only hinders those efforts. Another belief, drinking wine is good for health. The actual truth, maybe, but drinking alcohol isn't. Wine does contain antioxidants, and some other alcohols do as well. But if your body's health is really the priority, you can get just as much, if not probably more nutrients from grape juice, green tea, or just about any fruits and vegetables. So don't be deceived. Alcohol is a poison. It kills brain cells, destroys heart muscle, damages the liver. It's a carcinogen associated with increased cancer risk, and a lot more. Again, there's a good reason why drinking alcohol leads to a condition called intoxication. Another belief, alcohol enhances intimacy. The reality, I'm not in high school anymore. Studies do show that people who overdrink are more likely to contract HIV and other STDs, which may, in a way, I guess, prove that alcohol can be an effective sexual lubricant. But do you really want to rely on alcohol for that? Although it may lead to some interesting encounters, it's definitely going to limit the quality of your sexual life, not to mention the type of person you'll be connecting with. In the long run, alcohol is also associated with increased male impotence, decreased sexual drive. Heavy drinkers are more likely to fall asleep before sex, and they're less likely to maintain the quality of relationship where regular intimacy occurs. Another belief, alcohol helps me to sleep better. The reality, multiple studies prove otherwise. The fact is that many studies show alcohol consumption to be one of the leading causes of poor sleep. It takes your body a tremendous amount of energy to digest alcohol, or more accurately, to break it down and eliminate it from your body. So even though you may be able to fall asleep after drinking, your body is not resting. Alcohol also interferes with the deeper levels of sleep, which are important requirements for mental renewal. And without that, you just won't feel fully refreshed when you wake up. Another belief, I enjoy alcohol-induced oblivion. The reality, my escape is really making things worse. The mental numbness that comes from drinking, for me, was probably the most dangerous appeal of alcohol. But the fact that I would only feel relaxed after drinking a bottle or two of wine was a clear indication that I needed to find better ways to make my sober life more satisfying. Alcohol may temporarily make life look better or feel better, but none of those benefits are going to stick with you. Instead, it just leaves you further down than where you started. And you know this. There's probably been many times, more often than not probably, when you woke up in the morning and realized that not one good feeling from the night before had stuck with you. But once you find real ways to achieve a higher mentality with a sober mind, the appeal of alcohol as an escape mechanism dwindles quickly. Okay, this list of misperceptions could go on and on. These were just a few examples that meant something to me. You'll probably have some unique assumptions to look at. Just write them down and question whether they're really true for you, whether they're valid reasons to choose alcohol as part of your life or not. This kind of self-reflection is an important step to convincing your logical mind of what really matters to you. When you're more aware of the reality and you've taken a little time to convince yourself of it, it's much easier to start making decisions that lead to what you really want, which alcohol is probably not going to be a part of. Always remember that whatever you think alcohol might give you, it's much more likely just going to take away or put further out of reach. Alcohol may have been a stepping stone and an interesting experience at some point in your life, like when you were 15, but at this point, it's probably only making impossible what you want your life to be. As we move into step 2, I just want to remind you that what I'm describing here has been my own personal approach to overcoming alcohol addiction, and I really hope it's also useful to you, but it really is just kind of a personal story, and it really shouldn't be relied on as expert medical guidance because I am not a doctor. So with that said, step number 2.